Eventually, I'm gonna run out of things to say about the Season 1 intro, but not yet. Look at Buck's forehead. Good lord, man.
Where are you going, Steven?
Just out for a ride.
In the sand?
Yup.
Pearl's right to be concerned. You ever try riding a bike through sand, especially a bike with no chain? Connie's first appearance doesn't give her any lines, and I would still consider this a good intro. She's quiet and introverted, which is a huge contrast to how she appears in later seasons. She's really invested in this book too. She doesn't even look up until Steven hurts himself and runs off screaming. Also, these two shots are exactly the same, except Connie's dress is a different color for some reason. I believe this book is supposed to be Catcher in the Rye, which is my least favorite book of all time. I hated it. It was so boring. Alright, focus. I'm analyzing the show, not this book. Maybe some other time. This door somehow locked itself.
You like her!
I like everyone.
First of all, fantastic line delivery from Amethyst. If Pearl plays the mom role, Amethyst definitely plays the big sister really well. And this line is a perfect example of that. Also, what Steven says pretty much stays true for the whole show. No matter what, he's the one who always extends an olive branch to people that the Gems or even the Townies wouldn't.
But you guys can't watch this time.
We won't watch.
Yes, you will, Future Vision have an ass. Don't just touch your shades and think we don't know. There it is, the glow stick bracelet that showed up in Gem Glow. It didn't show up since then because the freezer was never opened in the episodes in between.
Hi, my name is Steven. Hi.
This rock was falling for 7 seconds before it hit the bubble, and a little bit of math tells me that it was over 700 feet up, which it wasn't, and traveling 150 miles per hour, which it wasn't. I always wondered what happened to Connie's book, and the answer may shock you. It simply vanishes between shots.
You did this?
Apparently. I'm a member of the Crystal Gems. We fight monsters and protect humanity and stuff.
Talk about a pickup line, holy shit. I should talk about the bubble. That is what this episode is all about, after all. This is the power that Steven uses the most throughout the series. It's strong, it's versatile, and it's kinda redundant in a way. Like, he gets a shield, a defensive weapon, and the bubble a primarily defensive power. The bubble gets used in way more unique ways than the shield, though. Even in this episode, it lets them survive at the bottom of the ocean. I don't think a shield can do that. It must have some kind of magical air supply.
I go on adventures with the Gems sometimes. They usually say it's too dangerous for me, though.
I wondered how much the Townies in Beach City know about gems and magic, but now I'm wondering how much people outside Beach City know about them. Later, the show talks about gems being around for 6,000 years or so. So there must be people studying that history, right? There should definitely be a Wikipedia page of what the gems are, or at least what people think they are.
Guys!
Steven calls out specifically for Garnet, probably because he sees her as the strongest or the leader at this point. She still doesn't get any personality yet, but she's definitely an important part of the Crystal Gems. The only thing really that makes her interesting in this season is how other characters talk about her. This one being a good, simple example.
Way to go, Steven. Is this your magic love bubble or something? Did you make it? Because you're in love.
Lars is like exceedingly dickish in this episode. Usually his dickishness is more underhand, like he'll do things behind other people's backs or just be generally rude. But in this episode, he's in Steven's face, explicitly making fun of him. He's just a bully. That stop sign is fucking tall.
My parents don't let me eat donuts. They have trans fats.
How many of you have seen King of the Hill? I'm sure a lot of you have, and a lot of you would draw the parallels between this Connie and the Connie from that show. Both are South Asian, they roll into town and befriend the awkward, chubby kid. They have overbearing parents, and they both play violin, and of course, they have the same name. None of that is coincidence, right? It feels like these are just the same character from two different Spider-Verses.
Whoa, a trawler! And a little skipjack!
You know a lot about boats.
I bet Connie would know that the gem sloop is actually a cutter. Introducing Onion, a character that could have been removed from the show entirely and nothing would be lost. In fact, the show might be better off. This character is a mystery, and not in an interesting way like a lot of the magic and gem stuff is. It's a mystery of why he's in this show at all. He doesn't talk, he doesn't contribute anything to the show as a whole. He's the focus of some of the worst episodes in the series. I don't find him funny. I don't think you're supposed to find him funny. Also, something about his face is weird in this episode. He doesn't look like this in the rest of the show.
We need a harpoon gun!
What?
To pop the bubble.
Can't we just go back to your house?
Gotta say, Connie's probably the smartest character in the show so far. It switches around quite a bit, but Connie is mostly depicted as being left-handed. I'm left-handed myself, and that kind of representation is neat. Totally unnecessary, but cool nonetheless. Gem monsters. Yep, that's what a tiny-ass boat needs a giant-ass harpoon gun for. Gem monsters in the ocean. That horn? I don't know, though. Welcome to Funland, not the arcade. That's on the other side of town. The fun comes from all the signs in the background. Wiener in hand, don't know how that got past the Cartoon Network executives. Italian sausage heroes, I thought it sounds funny, but apparently it's a real food. And hot carn!
Tons of horrible accidents happen here every day.
Gotta wonder how much of those accidents are magic related. Just saying, from what we've seen so far in this city, not much happens that doesn't have something to do with magic. This carousel must be fucking huge. Look at how slow it's spinning and look at how much the seats are swinging out. Also, I would consider that some of the best animation in this episode. I know I didn't do it in previous episodes, but in my defense, I forgot.
We just roll down this ramp as the carts are coming at us, and the crash will break us free.
Steven, this is a bad idea.
Connie's the smartest character, I'm telling you! A little gag that this show does, but doesn't get a ton of attention, is having Mr. Smiley running everything between here and the arcade. Literally nobody else is seen working at Funland or the arcade. You can't really tell what this is in this episode, but in a later episode you can see that it is a giant fucking sword, probably from the statue outside the temple.
It's not so bad. It's okay.
It's not okay!
I love this. Connie started this episode so soft-spoken and stiff, but as she got fed up with Steven's bullshit, you can see that go away. Until it all culminates in this pretty emotional scene. It's a better emotional scene than what we got with Petey a couple episodes ago. I think this one is much more deserved.
I saved it in the freezer so it would last longer, in case I saw you again.
Is this bullshit? It seems realistic that a glow stick would last longer in the freezer, but I don't know about a year. I tried looking up how long they last if they're frozen, but I couldn't get a definitive answer. So I'm gonna do my own experiment. For my own experiment, I went to Walmart last night. I got the some cheapo $1 glow sticks. I'm gonna crack these open. I'm gonna put all of them in the freezer because if anything about science has taught me, they need a lot of data points for an experiment to actually make sense. So I'm just going to crack them all and put them all in the freezer. Let's do this. Oh! There we go. Ah, yes! There they are. They're all glowing, and I made them into bracelets. And if you turn off the light, whoa, they're glowing. It's like they're glow sticks or something. So I'm going to throw them in the container. I'm just gonna chuck it in the freezer. Just in the back there. Remind me to check on those in like a year, otherwise I'm gonna forget. What direction do we need to swim? Up? You're the boss. I wish I had more to say about this action scene. It's so short, and Steven just got lucky tying up the worm. Quick thinking on the glow stick, though, I wouldn't have put those pieces together.
Hey, don't mess with his funky flow.
What the fuck? Garnet was barely in this episode, and she's actually fantastic. 2 episodes in a row. I hope they keep this up. I would call this episode cute. It serves as an introduction to Connie, and whenever Steven and Connie are together, they're cute. It's also showcasing another new power for Steven, the bubble. Like I said, that bubble is used more often than any other of his powers throughout the show, so it makes sense that it's shown this early. But for an introduction to Connie, I don't know how well this episode did. It really is just getting to see the absolute surface level of her character. I think that's fine, because we have a whole series to see her develop as a character. I don't think anyone expects to know this character inside and out at their debut. Look at what they did to Petey. They did him dirty with a 3-minute character arc. He and Connie should have gotten the same treatment. Justice for Petey, man. Alright, welcome to the end of the video, and I do have an announcement. These videos usually get flagged by Content ID, so I have to upload them at least a week early before they release, so they can go through an appeal process if they have to. If I'm finishing them early, I figured people would want to watch them early, so I started a Patreon, where for just a couple bucks you can watch these episodes a week in advance. Go check it out, the link is in the description. And in the next episode, we're getting serious.